Hey everyone, it's Hanny here from SidePro. I want to talk to you today about a new feature that we've released regarding different deployment methods, push versus pull. To understand this, let's walk through the various deployment methods that are available. So let's say that you have an application that you're developing locally on your laptop. At some point, you reach a stage where you need to deploy it to the cloud to get it online. With SidePro, this could be accomplished with a simple command, SidePro push, to get it to the cloud. This is an example of the simplest form of deployment using a folder to push to the cloud. But that's not the only way to push. SidePro also supports deploying straight from a Git repo such as GitHub. It also has the ability to deploy Docker containers available in any publicly accessible Docker container registry, such as Docker Hub, for example. All of these are example of the push method, but focusing in a little bit more on the developer workflow. Typically, you do not just deploy in isolation on your laptop. You would use something like Git to commit your changes to a local repo and perhaps push it to a remote repo such as GitHub. This is fairly common practice for development, especially if there's collaboration with other developers. Now, if you wanted to deploy from a Git repo directly, your process usually involves running commands such as git add, git commit, and then finally a git push to push it to GitHub. From there, if you wanted to deploy it to a cloud, you typically need to run a second command such as SidePro push that would fetch the contents from the Git repo and deploy it to the cloud. This is fairly simple to get going, but it does involve running two commands, git push, SidePro push. This can become tedious and repetitive, especially if this is done often, git push, SidePro push over and over. So this is where we now introduce another deployment method called the pull method. Instead of running two commands to push to the repo and to the cloud, you would run a single command, which is push to the repo. And after some initial configuration, the cloud will monitor a particular branch in Git, and upon any changes, will actually deploy the app automatically for you. This is a new feature that we just released, and it's fairly simple to get up and running. Let me show you a live example. So if I come to my terminal, and I'm going to use my favorite example of an Astro application, one that I just recently set up. And in fact, I have this already deployed in a Git repo, as you can see here. Now I need to enable the pull method. Coming back to the terminal, I need to run a few commands. First off, you need to ensure that you're on the latest version of the CLI. The CI/CD function was released in version 1.7.0, so make sure that you have that installed via brew. Next thing I need to do is log into the platform, if you haven't already. This will take me to the browser, log in, close the window, come back to the terminal. Now I need to instantiate a version of the application in the cloud. Typically, when you run SidePro push, it will both create the application and deploy it for you. But because we're using a different methodology, I actually just need to use a different command of SidePro app create. And I'm going to specify the name as Astro Demo. And once this is done, I can now enable the pull method, running SidePro pull, enable, and the name of the application, in this case, Astro Demo. And it's going to ask me a few questions, like the Git repo that we want this configured for. And I'm going to grab the URL from GitHub and paste it in. And now it's asking me which branch should it monitor. The way it works is this will install a GitHub application that will monitor a particular branch of a repo for any changes. Upon things like git commits or even PR merges, this will trigger an automatic deployment. In my case, I want to use the main repo, so I'm going to accept the default. There's also another feature of receiving auto pull notifications in a Slack channel. I don't have this set up right now, so I'm going to skip this feature. Now it's going to take me to the installation screen. And it's going to ask me to authorize it for which repository. I only need it for the Astro demo, so I'm going to only select repos and type it here. Once done, it allows me to review the permissions required for this application, and then you click Install and Authorize. It'll take you back to this page, which you can now close, and now the setup is complete. In order to test this, I now actually need to commit and push a change to the Git repo. So I have a page already set up here. It's just a standard markdown page. And if I move it into place under the blog, source content blog directory, let me clear my screen and run git status. It's telling me that this page is new, that I need to add it. So I'm going to go git add to the source directory and commit it. Add SidePro. Now I need to push it to the Git repo. And I do this simply with git push. If I come back to the Git page and refresh it, I can see my git commit is here. Now, within a few seconds, SidePro should detect this change and trigger a deployment automatically. I can monitor the deployment by running SidePro app logs, astro demo, --build, --follow. This will monitor the build logs for me automatically. And I can see it's almost done. Okay, this looks like it's now complete. I can Control C to stop the log stream. And now I can run SidePro app open and the name of the application, in my case, Astro Demo. I can see it's not working. And that's actually because it's not listing on the correct port. So I need to make a change. Coming back to the command line, I'm going to run SidePro app update --port 4321, which is the standard Astro port for the Astro Demo application. And this should automatically configure the port and restart the app. I can monitor this by running SidePro app logs, Astro Demo, -f for follow. And I can see that it's now deployed. And if I refresh this page, I now have the working application. So this is an example of deploying using the pull methodology. Any future changes to the main branch will automatically trigger deployments and saving you extra steps. Let me know what you think of this new feature, if there's any changes that you'd like. Until next time, thanks for watching.